Hello everyone, welcome to Legal Darshan. In today's video, we are going to talk about a very prominent exam, which is the exam of Advocate on Record. Okay, so Supreme Court of India conducts this exam annually, the Advocate on Record exam. This exam is Advocate on Record exam. What is the importance of this exam is, before coming to the importance, we will first have a glimpse of what who is an AOR and why we are conducting an exam to select or to designate people on this post. Now when we talk of an advocate on record, the word itself is self-explanatory, that a person who is on record, or who is marking, who is entering appearance, or who is pleading before the court will be an advocate on record. The Supreme Court has rule making powers. Okay, one thing I want you to do here is you need to write, or you need to comment down the article under which Supreme Court has the power to make rules. Okay, so exercising that article, the power under that article, Supreme Court has released Supreme Court rules in which it is also providing for who an advocate on record will be, what are his eligible conditions, what are his eligibility conditions, how the exam will happen, and why advocate on record. So, as per the rules, or as per what is happening, an advocate on record is an advocate. Okay, so we every year lakhs of people enroll as an advocate, but only a handful of them qualify the advocate on record exam. Why this is special? Because an advocate on record, the person who is qualifying an advocate on record exam, is only eligible and can only appear before the Supreme Court, can only plead before the Supreme Court, and he is the only eligible person to file a wakalatnama before the Supreme Court, plead before the Supreme Court. Of course, some other advocates do also appear, but that is with due permission of the court and on instructions of advocate on record. So, if you plan to plead before the apex court of the country, this exam is a must qualifier exam. So, you need to qualify this exam before appearing, prior to appearing before the Supreme Court of India. So, an advocate on record is the advocate who appears, who enters in appearance, who files a wakalatnama, or who pleads before the Supreme Court. Now, why the discussion on advocate on record exam is important? It is important for three category of persons. Number one, who of course, who knows that there is an advocate on record exam happening, and they can file the application, and they can fill the application form and submit it before the authorized registry, so that they can sit in the exam. A second category is people who have 2 or 3 years of experience, so that they know that just in few years, in upcoming 2 or 3 years, they will be eligible to write one more exam, which is the AOR exam. And third category is the students, so people who are in fourth or fifth year of their colleges. This is also one of the options you may look at, you may consider to appear in exam and designate yourself as an advocate on record. So three category of people I have bifurcated. Of course, the first one would be very much aware about this exam, they must be preparing about this exam, for this exam. Second category is who will prepare for this exam, they have in mind, yes, AOR exam is happening. And third is, okay, I might keep this option open for a latter part of my litigation career or career in law. So AOR exam, it is an open resource exam, because as you can see on my screen, I am not sharing any PPT, or I'm not sharing any slideshows or whiteboards today. But as you can see here, if we are accessing the Supreme Court of India's website. The link you can see here. I'll also put it in the drop box, in the comment box, in the description box below. Now, as you can see, the AOR exam, Supreme Court has first, it has notified this year's AOR exam. Okay, the notification came in the beginning of April, and the last date of filling the form and submitting it is 30th April 2025. So your form has to be submitted before 30th April 2025 anyhow. Okay, there will be no more chance given or no more extension available. Now the dates of the exam are 16, 17, 20 and 21st of the June. Okay, so it is scheduled in June. Today is 21st April. More or less, you have 1.5 months to prepare for the exam fully, and then some days for the revision. Now, this is the notification. When I come to another tab, this is the resource that Supreme Court has already provided. So you might find here videos of learned senior advocates, videos of uh, advocates on record, and many such videos, many such content which will help you prepare for this exam in a better manner. Then there is a old question paper section here which is providing you question paper of, I guess, question paper from 2007 AOR exam. Okay, so there is one senior advocate's lecture regarding professional ethics. Then there is another lecture by senior advocate Mr. Kailash Vasudev is also there. So there are many advocates who have signed in and who have prepared modules, who have prepared lectures so that people have access to resources and they might consider preparing for this exam. All right, now let's get back to the main focus of this video. Main focal point of this video is bringing out the notification for you. Okay, so I'm just opening it. As you can see now, the first thing that you need to keep in mind is the last date of form submission. So by 30th April, your duly filled application form should reach AOR examination cell, which is provided here. It is room number 307, third floor, B block, admin building complex, Supreme Court of India, and during the office hours. So you know what office hours are, and you have to submit it by 5 p.m. Strictly, there shall not be any extension, and the authorities shall not be responsible for any kind of delay. All right, so please submit it if you are appearing for the exam as soon as possible. Now, another thing is the eligibility criteria. Okay, so there is a regulation 11 clause 4, regulation 11 basically, which is providing you the eligibility condition. Now in eligibility condition, you must have the experience in advocacy for 4 years from the date of your enrollment, and then 1 year of training under AOR. Any AOR who is already designated AOR, आपके पास 4 साल का experience litigation में advocacy में होना चाहिए. Plus, when your 4 years of experience end in litigation, after you have completed 4 years of your experience, from that period, from that time, your 1 year of training under AOR commences, and it should be completed before you sit in the exam or before you file the application for AOR. So your mentor AOR, जिसके भी अंडर आप ट्रेनिंग कर रहे हैं, the one who is guiding you, one who is training you, also has to sign on your application and also has to give you a certificate that yes, you have this person, the applicant, has trained under me. Okay, so this will be one of the verifiable documents attached with your form. Now let's get to, this is the experience qualification. Another aspect of eligibility is you cannot give an AOR exam more than 5 times. So 5 times is the upper limit for any of you appearing for AOR exam to give this exam. All right. Now moving on to another aspect of the paper. Another aspect of this paper is that this paper is going to be a pen paper test. Pen paper test as in a written test. It is not a computer based test or presentation or Viva based test, but it is a pen paper written test. Now there is this one more condition attached here. The candidate who do not appear in all the papers and fail in any of the papers in which they have appeared shall be treated to have failed in all the papers, included the paper they have not appeared. So the main thing, the main crux of this paragraph, of this clause, is that you, if you are absent in one paper, or you cannot be absent in one paper, and you cannot fail either paper, any paper, to qualify the AOR exam. So you should pass in all the papers and you should appear in all the papers. All right. So this is clause 9 saying. Another thing that you need to note here is that when we were looking at the maximum number of attempts, you will be given only 5 attempts, and even if you are sitting in one paper, it means that you have appeared in the exam. Even if you are entering appearance, अगर आप एक present भी mark कर रहे हैं किसी भी एक paper में, it will be counted as one attempt. Okay, so you need to keep your attempt number in mind. A maximum of 5 attempts shall be granted to you. Now coming to the papers. Okay, coming to the papers, there are 4 papers in AOR exam. So I'll just open the old question paper screen for you so that you have an idea of how many paper do we have. So the first paper is the paper on practice and procedure. Practice and procedure of Supreme Court. Now, how does Supreme Court function? Of course, it has to deal with jurisdiction. What kind of jurisdiction Supreme Court exercises? SLP, writ, PIL, original jurisdiction 131, appellate jurisdiction 1, Article 132 to 134. All of these jurisdictions, we will be considering while preparing for the first paper. Okay, appellate jurisdiction. So these are the jurisdictions of Supreme Court that we find in the Constitution of India. And the first paper is based out of the practice and procedure of the apex court, of the Supreme Court. Okay. Paper number 2 is the paper on drafting. Now, when you are becoming AOR, okay, so first is practice and procedure, second is drafting. Now, when you are appearing before the Supreme Court, you will be designated as an advocate on record, entering in appearance before the apex court and pleading before the Supreme Court. You only can file a wakalatnama before the Supreme Court. Then, of course, drafting shall also be done by you. So, the second question, analyze your drafting, analyze how you draft a petition. So, you might be given questions to draft SLP, to draft a PIL, etc. All right, so you may have a look at the previous year paper and have an idea of how this is being asked. All right. Now, when we come to paper number 3, paper number 3 is the paper on advocacy and professional ethics. Okay, so we will here also, we will be dealing with the ethics, the professional ethics, the Advocates Act, Contempt of Courts Act, provisions like such for, preparing for paper number 3. Now we come to the last paper, which is the paper on leading cases. Okay, so this is the paper on leading cases. Supreme Court will be asking you questions on the leading cases. Now the catch here is, or the point which favors you is that Supreme Court, when it releases the notification every year, it gives you the list of leading cases. Okay, as you can see, this is the form. The applicants need to fill this form and submit it to the designated authority. This is an additional notification. It gives you the detail of forms, the payment, what time it should reach, what is the fee, bank account number, etc. Okay, you may have a look at it. You may consider looking at it. Now, when we talk of paper 4, the paper 4 is giving you a paper questions on leading cases. But the best thing about this paper is Supreme Court is already supplying you the list of cases that will be asked in this paper. Okay, so a total of 86 cases shall be asked in this year's AOR exam, which includes Sita Soren, the recent judgment, the Association for Democratic Reforms. It is the Electoral Bonds Judgment 370, Ray 3, Article 370, the Jammu Kashmir Judgment, Asymmetric Federalism, AMU Judgment, in which we reconstructed the idea how will you determine a minority institution, whether Aligarh Muslim University shall be constituted as a minority institution. Then we have State of Punjab versus Devinder Singh, which is basically talking of sub-classification of SC/ST caste, right? So these are the latest judgments, as well as you can see in the list here. We have the landmark judgment as well. I.R. Kolo, Rameshwar Prasad. We have Indra Sahni bringing in 50% upper seal for reservation. A.R. Antule, Sharad Birdi Chand. We have Minerva Mills, Manika Gandhi, Free Fair Trial, Golden Triangle, His Holiness Keshwanand Bharati, Basic Structure Doctrine. Okay, so as we can see, it is a mix of latest judgments and the landmark judgments. All right. So these will be asked in your fourth paper. So the access to previous year question papers can be done visiting the Supreme Court website, and you can see what kind of questions is Supreme Court asking. Okay, so now what is important here is that even if you plan, even if you're right now not eligible, but you do plan to appear in this exam and you have it in mind to appear for this exam, I think you should start looking at the previous year papers from 2007. It is there on the website, and you can have a bare idea of what Supreme Court is asking from you when it is, taking your exam, AOR exam. All right. So this is an introductory video, an opening video on AOR exam. Now, how will we be dealing with AOR exam is we plan to cover the leading cases. Okay, so paper 4 is the leading case paper, and we plan to cover these 86 judgments in our videos on this YouTube channel. We will be doing a free telecast of these 86 judgments, and also we will, because you can see here that 64 cases were also there in previous year papers, right? Now, newly added cases are from 65 to 84, which have been added for this year. We have Janhit and we have Satendra Kumar Until versus CBI. We have a lot of new judgments which have been decided in recent years. Now, what we will be doing, we will be having the videos on these 86 cases. We will also be drawing out the questions. Okay, so for example, if a question has been asked earlier on Jarnail Singh or Joseph Shine of India, we will do an analysis of previous year paper that how the question has been asked based on these judgments earlier. Okay, so this 86 video, this series in on 86 videos will be uploaded hopefully most probably by mid-May, so that you have 1 month, at least 1 month to prepare and have the access of these videos to help you prepare for your exam in a better manner. Should you have any doubts, any queries, any feedbacks, or any assistance required, you may reach out to us. The email ID is given in the description box. I can also write it on your screen. On the screen, you may have a look at it. It is legaldarshan@gmail.com. So you can email us if there are any doubts, if there are any queries, and this series will be beginning tomorrow onwards. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.